Hello friends and happy Friday. This is my friend and client Paula Coulter, and she has got one of the most inspiring and best testimonies that you will hear. And I know that a lot of you are going to relate to her story and you are going to feel inspired and encouraged. And I just encourage you to, if you do feel a spot where you relate to her, just give a thumbs up or a heart and show her support and encouragement as well. I've known Paula for a really, really long time. And we have worked together over the years off and on. It's been several years though since we had worked together up until about recently. What have you been working with me now? About 6 or 7 months?
6.
6 months.
Yeah.
So let's talk about why you reached out to me. Let's talk about that.
Well, I saw you on social media and I thought I was just ready for a change. I had done a lot of workouts before, and I felt that they were just not right for me. I was tired of getting hurt. So I wanted to find a different approach. So I called Kim and we visited and I started your program.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paula is an excellent and avid tennis player. So it was really important for her to do things that were going to allow her to continue playing tennis, but also play well, because we're competitive. And why do it if you can't have a hope of winning?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm very good, but I want to stay out there. It's the social aspect. It's moving. It's fun for me.
Absolutely.
I just love it.
Yeah, and we want to get her exercise and doing workouts and group exercise should have a purpose, and it should help you function better in life and the lifestyle you want to have. And I think that is mainly my focus, and I think that's probably what attracted you to talk to me in the first place, was that it's not all about just the workout. It's about how it's going to benefit you in your lifestyle. And so she did, when she came to me, she said, I don't know if you can help me or not, because I just had a major traumatic surgery and you had started feeling some weaknesses from that surgery. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you went through?
Well, I had recently had a full hysterectomy, and I was surprised that it took me so long to recover. And I just wanted to reset my goals from there on,
Right.
And my main goal was balance and posture. Posture, I would say, was, a big one. So I just needed somebody to help me through those things, those steps.
Right. The first thing she said was core strength. She said, and you were really surprised at the core strength. Of course, it's trauma. I mean, when they do a total hysterectomy, there's a lot of trauma to that area of the body anyway. But you had recovered fully and been released, but your core strength was still weak and suffering. And I like to say you probably had some weaknesses to begin with, and surgery or trauma of some kind just exacerbates those and brings them to the surface, and you're more aware of it at that point, because those muscles that your body has compensated for that weakness and used in place of the proper muscles aren't working either, and therefore you're like weak and have difficulty sitting up and holding yourself up, and you're fatigued. So we did focus on working specifically with her core, which all of my stuff works the core. And
that's true.
Yeah. And so we worked specifically on posture, which I'm a little hardcore on.
Yes.
But balance in particular. So when she came to me, she didn't tell me the whole story, which is very common. People like to trickle things in. And so her balance was very distorted. And meaning that she was obviously relying on her shoes for stability and the surface of the floor for stability instead of her feet and her musculature. And so we got to talking a little bit, and then she revealed why and how long she has been suffering with her balance. So I want you to tell me, what happened that affected your balance, how long ago, and then how it's affected your balance over the course of those many years.
Well, about 30 years ago, I had a benign brain tumor on my cerebellum, which affects your balance.
Yes.
And I had surgery on that and recovered from that. But I was, 30 years younger, and I felt like I knew I had some weaknesses, but I didn't realize the extent until I was working with Kim on it. So.
Yeah, and so it didn't allow her to really be able to stand and balance on one leg. So she was constantly very apprehensive about doing certain things. And she's lived the last 30 years by modifying that. And maybe, being a little bit more mindful of what she does and where she is and how she navigates maybe terrain, and activities that require a little bit more balance. So for her, it was really important. And I remember her saying, I really don't think that this is fixable. This is going to be the way I am. It's been this way for 30 years. I feel that it's getting a little worse since I've had the hysterectomy, and my core balance or my core strength is non-existent now. And so we have worked just with everybody else. We do group training, but we worked on all the things. And what would you say your balance is like to date?
Well, even just this week, I said to Kim, remember when I couldn't do this? I couldn't, and it was remarkable. It's remarkable how these little things come together, and it's so much better. But it's something I have to continue to work on.
Yeah, but she started off holding on to me
Right.
for support and a stationary object as well. So, and then we've slowly gotten her to where she is freestanding on her own with no support, doing these exercises, and most of them on the advanced upper level. So, it's a remarkable improvement in her balance. And I remember her saying not too long ago, it was probably in the first couple months that we worked together, that you were shocked at your ability to improve your balance. You never thought you would get to that point.
I didn't.
And I think that is just, it's a testament to her mindset and her mental strength, and also her willingness to actually try.
Well, you helped there. Yeah.
Well,
she was
sure.
my encourager. So, and it's just amazing how you can really transform if you have a mindset, the right mindset.
Yeah, and we worked a lot on the mindset, and she's also in my mind and body transformation program that's for women only, 40 and over, because we are all going through this same phase of life where our bodies are changing. There's not a lot of information and support. We suffer in silence. There's a little stigma of maybe embarrassment. We're getting older, and there's a little stigma to that as well. And we just don't know what we don't know and how to navigate that. And so I created the program specifically for that. Whether you're beginning stages of menopause, you're in it, or you're out of it, this is, going to help navigate, obviously, exercise and nutrition, but primarily mindset. And in the meantime, we're growing our spiritual faith and our relationship with God throughout as well. But the mindset part of this program is where Paula has really thrived and plugged in. She makes, 99% of our live lessons, and she does the work. That's probably the key here, is consistency and action. And she is an action taker, and I love working with action takers. And she has seen and reaped the rewards of doing that. But her mindset was and she was very honest. She didn't believe me when I said, I have no doubt you will be able to stand on one foot without support. No doubt in my mind. And she was like, okay, not.
Right.
And she was very open about not believing that. And so, which is fine, good. So she has, and she can.
Yeah.
And she has made significant incremental progress every week. She's not plateaued yet, and that's just so fun and encouraging to see. Yes, I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. And she's just getting better and better. So let's talk a little bit about your experience in the program and how that kind of helped you just wrap your brain around continuing and being able to do the hard things in the work, even if you didn't believe it was possible, because that's a big deal.
Well, can we talk about the nutrition? You want to talk about the nutrition?
You can talk about whatever you want.
I have poor eating habits, and I've recognized this, but it was eye-opening, and I am such a fan of Kim's, the green smoothies that I incorporate, just so many different things that I do on a daily basis now that I really feel like it's making a difference in the way I feel. And it's been great.
Yeah. And again, you know, when these are small little changes, and we don't try to change everything in the world all at the same time. You're not doing weird diets and weird foods. You're getting to pick your own meals, but you're incorporating these small little tweaks to it that add up. And, you know, she's really seen a difference, not just in her physical ability, but also her sleep, her skin, your digestion.
Exactly, yes.
And her appetite and cravings. I mean,
sugar cravings and and Kim has helped me recognize, when do I have these cravings for sugar, and what am I doing? Where am I? And what is going on? And it's made me stop and think before I indulge in my favorite little afternoon sweet snack, and how I feel after I have that. It's just being aware of behavior. And so I'm still working on it. I still want my gummy bears, but but I now recognize when I'm susceptible.
right, when she really just wants a gummy bear, or when she's using that to cope with a situation, a circumstance, a behavior, being tired, whatever.
Or rewarding myself.
Yes, we pick proper, appropriate rewards instead of, and we've renamed comfort food to coping food.
Right.
And that one little shift. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Rename your comfort food with the word coping, and see how that shifts your way of thinking about it. But yeah, Paula has made just small, tiny changes, but she has been consistent, and she has been steadfast in that. And, you know, even on the weeks where she's like, oh, I totally blew it, I'm like, well, send me what you did. Why do you think you blew it? And then we reframed that. Is there a lesson? Is there a piece of education maybe we need to slide in there? Or is it just, you know, we work through a lot of those things together. But I will say she definitely has changed the way she thinks about stuff, and she thinks. That's the key. Instead of just mindlessly just kind of doing things, and you're like, I don't even know where I'm off or how I feel about stuff. So these one little successes, just these little bitty things add up and build your confidence over and over, and then you're just more confident in your own ability to make these things work and do hard things and make transformational changes, huge transformational changes. Huge. I love it, because her balance now will continue to improve and continue to support her as she ages through life, and allow her the freedom and independence no matter what her age is, which is
a secret.
Really the goal. I mean, who cares if we can jump on and off a box and flip a tire? I mean, you know, look at her. She's gorgeous. She can show a little leg and have a man change her tire. So
very important.
You know, but we want to be able to live independently and not be scared to death that we're going to fall and trip or hurt ourselves or not even enjoy life. She wants to play tennis when she's 90. And she should be able to do that. So that's the goal with all of it. So I would love to hear your encouragement. I would love for you to share your I hate to use the word fear, but it is a little bit of fear. It takes courage to reach out to me. It's super intimidating. It's intimidating, one, and scary to admit that you need help. It's very vulnerable, and it's very vulnerable and scary and intimidating to admit why you need help and that you don't know, that you're not strong enough on your own. And I want you to know that I'm not strong enough on my own. None of the women that I work with are strong enough on their own, and that's why we have this amazing community of women. Aren't they awesome?
They are.
I mean, super strong Christian women that we pull strength from all the time, each other. And so I want you to talk a little bit about specifically the fear that you had in reaching out, maybe what your concerns were, maybe how you felt a little intimidating in reaching out, and then what was your final, all right, this is it. I don't even care anymore if it's scary. I just have to ask for help.
It was something you said on one of these videos,
okay.
and I can't exactly remember what it was, but it resonated with me, and I thought, it's time for a change. I need to reach out. I need to do something. And that's when I called Kim, and I knew her a little bit, not really well, but
right.
So, and I wanted to do something different. I knew what I was doing before would not sustain me as I aged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the hard workouts, like
yeah,
so many things that we're all doing out there. I was getting hurt, so I was tired of that. And this has been life-changing for me. So
yeah,
thank you.
You are welcome. It's my pleasure. It's fun for me to get to see people progress and really just plug in and dive full in. And so a little bit about the workout portion of my program is that we do short workouts. They're only 30 minutes long. And it's not that they're not intense, but they're very, very focused. And so we do a little, it depends on your level and where you are and what's going on with you, but we do a little, jumping. We might do something, but it's more functional for life. And then you see more results that way. So my concern is risk reward. If the risk is higher than the reward, we need to evaluate while we're doing that workout. Where is that supposed to get us? So we're constantly evaluating risk and reward, but I'm teaching you how to evaluate risk and reward.
And you adapt for every single person
right.
where they are. You meet them where they are.
Right.
And so that's very important. So don't feel like you can't do any of Kim's workouts. You can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will make sure we do what we need to do, but you get to do it in the group, which I think
it's fun.
It is. It's a lot more fun and encouraging because you see people who are a little bit more advanced than you in a different place, and then some that are a little less advanced than you, and you get to see everybody's progress, and then you can gauge your own. So you're like, oh, I remember being the new girl. And it's scary and intimidating, and you think, I'm not as good as them, or I'm not going to be able to do it. But you do.
Yes.
And then you're now not the new girl anymore, but you can encourage and support the new ones coming in. And we've got a great team of women that are at all levels and all phases, and they're so encouraging. And I know they're learning things when they start critiquing and helping each other, which we had a great time doing that this morning.
Yes. One of the girls said something to me, and it was very helpful.
Yes, extremely helpful. And so I would like to encourage that as well, because if you're able to see something in someone else and encourage them, that tells me you're learning things, and that helps you do better, and you learn more if you teach. Right. So it's very much a community situation, but I'm so proud of Paula.
Thank you.
And I love that we have gotten to know each other on a deeper level, and we talk about hard things, but you get one-on-one coaching and support with me, as well as the group coaching and encouragement, from the community as well. So I think that part is very important. You need the group interaction, but you need the individual where you can really kind of go deeper than what's appropriate in a group setting. But Paula's mindset, I've seen her just flourish and grow and thrive in environments that are foreign and different and new. And she's been so great in just saying, fine, okay, whatever, I'll try it.
Why
I
not?
don't believe you, and
But I'll do it.
but okay. And so she has reaped great reward on that and made tremendous progress. Yeah. So do you have a word of encouragement, or maybe even an aha moment that you would like to share with someone who is really on the fence? They're struggling, they feel discouraged and frustrated, and they're just, at a loss on what to do and where to go.
I'd say just talk to Kim, reach out, talk to Kim, see what she says. I call her my life coach.
Yeah.
It's more than just working out, and it's more than just nutrition. It's putting so many things together in a faith-based community, and that was very important to me.
Yes.
And it just all comes together. We're never totally where we want to be.
Sure.
It's always a process, but I would say, why not try it?
What do you have to lose?
Right, exactly.
If
Exactly.
so if you guys are thinking about something and you just want to have a conversation, I love having these just conversations and finding out about needs and goals and what is going on in the lives of women of our age. I just find it super interesting, if nothing else. But if you want to have a conversation, I put a link to my transformation program in there where you can actually schedule a free little discovery call, and we can chat about you and what's going on, and then see if you are right for the program. Program is not for everybody, and this may not be right fit for you, but it won't hurt to have a conversation. And then if we don't work together, then I can at least give you maybe a little guidance in a direction to take and seek out the help that would most benefit you. I keep it pretty small in a tight-knit community, so I'm very particular about that because I want us to have growth as a group as well as individuals. But let's have a conversation and see if the program is a fit for you, or if you're a fit for the program, and we can go from there. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for trusting me. That's a big deal,
Yeah,
and I
that's a big
take
deal.
that very seriously. And I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
am.
for all your help.
Oh, of course. And she just glows. And yes, so yeah, I'm excited to see what is next.
Me
And the
too.
next phase
too.
and where we go from that. So
Yay.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Sweater.
All right. I know we're sweating. We worked out before, so we're being real here. All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing y'all. And y'all give a shout out to Paula. Give her some claps and hearts, and encourage her and celebrate her for all that she has accomplished, because it's a lot and it's a big deal. Love you guys. Bye.